This portion's name is Ki Tetzei. This portion is a portion of 50 rules, which I have counted, of which I will only be talking about 3, all centered around the main idea of giving to the stranger, orphan, and widow, who I will be calling the people for the remainder of this service. These are the verses in question. Here, I'll break it down for you. The first verse translates to, "Remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and that the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore I enjoin you to observe this commandment, or command you to do this thing." My best guess as to why this shows up twice, which I'll get to, is because the Israelites were going through hard times just as the people are. The second verse is where the analysis actually starts. Removing all unnecessary repetition, it translates to, "When you reap the harvest in your field and overlook a sheaf, do not turn back to get it. It shall go to the stranger, the orphan, and the widow, in order that the Lord your God may bless you in all of your undertakings." The people are general representations of poor people, so an extra sheaf of grain would be helpful to them. A sheaf is a bundle of grain, by the way. The last part is a given and never shows up again. The third verse translates to, "When you beat down the fruit of your olive trees, do not go over them again. That shall go to the stranger, the orphan, and the widow." Again, the people are poor people, and every bundle of wheat or olive counts to them. The fourth verse translates to, "When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, do not pick it over again. That shall go to the stranger, the orphan, and the widow." Now that I have realized what sharing a common theme is, I have decided to extend this Devar Torah a little. Before I translate verse 5, if you can read Torah well enough, and or have a good memory, you will know a general idea of what this translates to. If you haven't gotten it yet, these are essentially the same verse, so I actually lied about translating it. But why is that? Why does it repeat? Well, this specific repetition means nothing, but there are a lot more repetitions in Torah that debatably mean something. Some people say they mean something, other, more sane, people say they don't. This debate started with Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Ishmael. Akiva believed that every repetition meant something. Ishmael believed that they meant absolutely nothing. Contrary to mental health, Akiva's approach is more important today. There are also these things called midot from the Akivian method, the main 3 of which being if X, then all the more Y, verbal analysis, and different verbal analysis. For the generous estimate of 3 people who don't know my stance on this topic, here are some pros for both arguments. The pros for Ishmael are that you don't have to overthink because everything is spelled out for you. You will also stay sane. The pro for Akiva is that you will miss less of the details as you need to sift through them to make a theory. I like the Ishmaelian approach better because it's more feasible. The Akivian method implies that there are secret messages in a religious rulebook. This makes said rulebook infinitely harder to understand. Alright, go to the Torah service for 20 minutes or so and go to the Haftarah recording.